Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with my first video in a long time. Don't mind the mess. But I'm rocking my caveman vibes again. And as you can hear, there's a lot of chickens in the background. There's a house in the background. There's a lot I need to explain. There's a lot that you guys have missed in my leaving and coming back. But I moved. I had a lot of breakdowns. I'm now a gardener, not professionally, but I do like to garden as a little hobby. So today, that's what I wanted to do with my caveman appearance. I was gonna go show you guys around my garden, and today I'm actually putting in a few plants that I had bought from a nursery yesterday. So I'm gonna show you guys that too. And I'm gonna show you around everything that I have and all the plants that I have. I'll give another video with another explanation on everything that happened, why I haven't been posting anything. Yeah, so let's get into the tour. Oh, that is so ugly. So first plant that I wanted to show you guys is my mini pepper plant. This is one of the ones that I was debating not getting at the nursery because it's a small pepper plant. It doesn't have like jalapeno or serrano. It's called like a super chili plant. So they produce chilies that are like this big and they stay that big. And I can't give you like a real good like comparison like side by side. But this is like kind of small. I had a bigger one that was at my grandmother's house, but I bought another one so she could keep that one. Here we have some cilantro. This one I also bought from the nursery yesterday. There was about 6 trays, and I just put all 6 trays in a mini pot. I'm just gonna use this as an herb pot. I'm not gonna harvest this until it gets a little bit bigger because as you can see, it's still like a shrub. Now we're gonna walk over to the main part of the garden, which is the part that we're currently still building. Well, we're not building anything. We just made like a sort of raised bed thing. It's not a raised bed thing. We just outlined where we're gonna have beds that are on the ground. Oh, the collards are not doing good. Cause we bought a few things. And last night we couldn't get them done because we had to add dirt. Oh no. We had to add dirt to the piles, and by the time we had got home it was already late, so we couldn't add much dirt. We couldn't plant everything we wanted to plant, so we had to leave them overnight, and I think they did suffer because of that. So hopefully when we get them in the ground and to give them some fertilizer and give them some water, they're gonna be fine. But I'm going to start showing you guys this because the backlight is really terrible. Okay, so these aren't nursery plants. These are plants that I've started myself. Here we have a few things. Some of these might be mixed up because I dropped them out of this little mini greenhouse earlier. I have radishes, beets, more radishes and spinach right here in this one. And this, in this mini greenhouse, I don't actually know what any of this is. I don't know what's in here. These have mold on them. Let's just hope that something grows out of these because I don't know what I planted here. And as you can see, that one's ready to come out. I need to hurry up and get that. This is also not from the nursery. These are seeds that I started. As you can see, like the little peat pellets sticking up there. This is, I believe, a cucumber. There's another cucumber here. It's still really cold here in Houston, Texas. So, like, my cucumbers and my squash aren't doing very well. This is a tomato. This isn't doing well either because it's not in season. I just had the seeds and I planted them, so I thought might as well just put them out here. This is a mint. I had a bigger piece to it, but it's gone. I don't know what happened. There was a big dog back here, so I think the dog ate it. Yeah. Other way. Okay, this is another mini greenhouse that I have. This, I also planted a whole bunch of random things. I think there's cucumbers and tomatoes. Those have also been in there for about 2 months, and this is the biggest they've been the whole 2 months. So here we have, this isn't my main garden bed. This is more like a primary starting bed. This is what we have plants that we don't plan on keeping in the ground. So these are just things that are like temporary, basically. So here we have lettuce. These I've had for a while because I bought them with my Click and Grow plant starter. And now that I have that plant, now that I have that machine, I use that mostly for starting plants inside. And so it's still growing well. I don't harvest it out often because it takes a while to come back. Here we have a spinach. I need to start harvesting this because this is about ready to harvest. But it looks really nice. The leaves are getting really well. I need to pluck off these bottom leaves. Here, I think we had like a rat or something because there's a hole right here with the potato right there. I need to hide that because I have potatoes planted here. None of them have came up yet. None of the sprouts have came up yet. Here I have a tomato. I just harvested a tomato off this yesterday. There's another ripening tomato here. And as I said, it's cold here in Houston, Texas right now, which is very unusual because it's sunny right now, so it's not so cold. But they're doing okay. They're gonna die eventually, so I don't plan on keeping these in the ground for much longer. This is another tomato plant. These are beefsteak tomatoes. I don't plan on them surviving. I just didn't have anywhere to put them, so I thought if we were gonna do anything, we might as well just put them out here. I don't think they're gonna survive, but just put them out here just in case. Because I fertilize this all the time, so if it was gonna survive fertilizer, this is gonna be the best way to do it. Here, these are my most pesky plants. These are my potatoes. These potatoes are doing so good that I have to come out here every day and mound up soil. You guys couldn't see, but I have to mound up soil over these leaves because they're doing so good, and I don't want them to not produce potatoes. So tomorrow I'm going to buy another bag of soil, and hopefully I'll be able to mound these up better. But yeah, these are my potatoes. These potatoes are red potatoes as well. They're doing really good. They're producing a lot of leaves, so hopefully that gives us a lot of potatoes. Here I have a lush bush of beans. I think this is a bush bean. I don't remember what it was when I planted it. I planted this at my grandmother's house and I just took it with me. These are definitely pole beans. These have got, well, no, this is a pole bean. This is a zucchini. This is a pole bean. This pole bean died, came back to life, and it's going through it. This also died from very cold weather and came back to life, and this is doing still very good. I don't know how. And the primary leaves that were on it are still growing somehow, and they're looking really nice. These are collards. We have so many collards. I don't even know if it was a good idea to plant them here. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of collards, and I think I'm gonna thin these out to one plant per little spot. But I don't know how to do that, so we're gonna wait on that. Here, as you guys can see, I have these little things sticking up. These aren't doing so well. These are my garlics. They're not all popping up right. I have some weeds in the bed, but these are easy to pick out because this is very loose soil. But yeah, I don't think that some of these aren't gonna make it, but I know this one I have a very good hope for. So if anything, I'll just use this to start another crop for next year. But that's all for this primary bed. And then we have some straw laying down over this walk path so we can harvest from the secondary bed, which I'm going to show you now. So these are my collards. Let me actually get a little bit lower and sit down so you guys can see. These are my collards. They're limp. I got them from the nursery yesterday, so I think they're a bit dry, which is probably why they're limp. They've been in the sun, so they're probably drying out. I'm gonna plant them today, give them some water and fertilize them, and then hopefully that brings them back. Here's the soil. We had tilled up the soil about a week ago, and the soil wasn't terrible under here, but it was too compact to do anything with. So we bought about 4 bags of soil and put 4 bags of garden soil here, and it fluffed it up a lot. So now all we have to do is just rehydrate it a bit and then plant the plants, and they should be good. We have a few weeds still in here because we weren't able to take out all of the weeds because we tilled this with an automatic tiller. But yeah, I'm gonna show you the next plants from here. So there we have what I believe is Brussels sprouts. Or is it? No, this is a cabbage. So here we have our cabbage. These aren't looking so hot either. As I said, I bought them from the nursery yesterday. I don't think they had been watered by the time we had bought them. And it was too late to try and find my watering can to water them. So I didn't water them last night either. So I'm going to probably water them today. Over there we have our Brussels sprouts. I just remember the Brussels sprouts because they were right next to the cabbage. And they look like mini cabbages whenever they actually do grow. But the Brussels sprouts aren't doing terrible. They're a little limp as well. But after I give them some water, they should all perk up. And here we have some broccoli. These broccolis are looking the best out of all of them. As for their soil looks very unwatered. So I'm surprised they're doing as well as they are. But that's most of like the main greens that we have. Over here we have carrots. These carrots, I didn't originally want to buy them because as you can see, they're in little pots and they already have like really big leaves. Which I was scared that whenever we bought these, that if I was buying the carrots in the little package, I'm trying to make sure I don't get sun in here. But I was scared of buying the carrots that were in these little pouches, that if we had bought them, that they weren't going to grow right because they had already had big leaves. So I was thinking that the root may have been established already and that it had been blocked by the pot that it was held in. And so that it wasn't going to grow right. But hopefully whenever we pull them out, we can see if they're gonna grow. So now I'm going to go to the part where we're actually planting them. There was another thing that I forgot to show you guys that we got. This was something that we weren't gonna get until the last minute because the lady had showed us it right before we were leaving, saying if we wanted to get them because she had just got a big shipment of them. But we got some, let's say tomatoes. We got some onions. Now these are white bulb onions, so these aren't the green onions. These are the ones that are gonna get really big. She only sold them in bunches, so we bought a big bunch. And whenever I got them, they were dried out. Well, they weren't like fully dried out, but they were dry enough to where I was scared that if I planted them, they weren't gonna grow. So I decided that overnight I was just gonna rehydrate these and plant them afterwards, just to make sure that the roots were gonna be fine. Because the roots were still white whenever we got them. But I was just scared that if I tried to plant them directly from the nursery and they were dried, that they weren't gonna plant. So I may have messed them up. I don't know. I don't know if it was okay that I had soaked these, but they don't look bad. The water is really yellow. I don't understand why the water is yellow, but hopefully that doesn't mess up the plants. They smell, like I can smell the onion. The roots are still white. They look like they've just started to peel a little bit of the dried bits of the onion that were left. I had already peeled off some of the dried onion from yesterday. I just wanted to make sure that they were really fresh and that they weren't gonna die whenever I put them in the ground. Now, after I put them in the ground, I'm gonna wet the ground. So it's sort of gonna be like mimicking what they've been doing overnight. I'm just gonna make sure that it's not fully saturated. So as the soil is drying up, these are gonna dry up as well. And they're not gonna be just like submerged in water and rot. But yeah, now we're gonna get to the planting. Actually, what I'm thinking I might do before I plant, I think I'm gonna soak the ground first. And I'm going to soak, well not fully soak, but I'm gonna like at least wet the ground first. So I can easily move the soil and move them into the soil. And I'm also gonna give them a little bit of water because they are really dry. And I don't wanna mess up the roots or mess up the plants. Seeing as the collards are already limp, I don't wanna have them more limp. So I'm going to try and give them a little bit of water just to have the roots be easily to move. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on whatever I'm doing. Okay guys, so since I'm not doing a final watering right now, I'm just trying to get them a little wet so it's easier to transplant them. I'm not going to be adding fertilizer to this water. I already got the water. I'm not fertilizing the water. The fertilizing of the water is gonna be for afterwards, whenever I've already transplanted them. I'm just soaking the ground now. Actually, I'll record that. But yeah, I don't want to fertilize the water right now because I'm just trying to move them into the ground. So after I move them into the ground, then I'm going to fertilize the water so they can get established in fertilized water. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys me not putting my finger over the camera and me watering the ground and the plants. Okay, so this is going to be hard with one hand, but I'm not even planting anything over here. Why was I trying to water this side? So I'm going to just give them a nice gentle water all along where I'm gonna plant. This still has some of the original dirt in it because we just mixed up the dirt that was already here with soil. So I'm just adding some water. These were planted in a water retaining soil, so it's going to be a bit to get them soaked. I'm not trying to get them soaked though. I just want to get them a little bit wet so it's easier to transport them. Now hopefully that does it because I'm out of water. And now I'm going to get started on the transplant portion. I have a really bad setup right now for the camera, but hopefully this works well enough. I'm going to just turn over the dirt a little bit just so we can have the setup. As you guys can see, there's still a lot of grass. I'm going to try and get as much of that out as I can right now just because I'm here. And I'm just going to crush up this dirt a bit, do what I can to work the soil. And we're going to be still working this soil over the growing period just because this wasn't this was really good soil back here. We didn't have terrible soil. We were actually lucky because the soil was sort of rich already, so we didn't have to work it that much. But we're still going to work it a little bit just because we want to make sure that in the future when we want to grow more stuff back here that we are able to, and then it's not going to be deprived of any nutrients. So that should be good for right now. The soil's loose. Now I don't know exactly how my mom wanted these because she's not back here to help. But I'm just planning on planting these in maybe how they are in this planter, about 2 rows of 3. Hopefully I'm not damaging the roots, because these planters, every time that I bought from this nursery, they have really good affordable plants, but every time I bought from this nursery, they're a bit too root crowded. But these roots seem like they're fine. I was worried about this, the fact that the soil is a bit dry and it's a bit loose here. I didn't want there to be that much looseness in the soil. But hopefully whenever I get in the ground, because the ground is already a bit moist, so it should give it a bit more moisture, and it should help it retain a bit more moisture.
I'm not using a spade for all of this. I'm using my hands for some of it, just because that's a lot easier, I feel. This is a very cheap spade, so it's not the best, but it does its job. I'm just using it to make little holes to put them down. Now, I am worried about the leaves touching the ground, because I know that when that happens, it's a lot easier to contract a mold or fungus type of disease. So I'm just going to hope it doesn't happen. This is another problem that I've had with this nursery, is the fact that they're kept in these containers for so long that they actually grow roots across other containers. So I just ripped them apart. It's not that much. I've seen worse. Like whenever I got my tomato plants, they were completely in other sections. I can still definitely feel a lot of clay in the soil. So in the future, whenever we take these out and we decide we're going to put more plants in here, we're going to definitely have to add a bit more garden soil to this, because it's a lot more clay than I thought. I'm going to try and work out the back a bit more so we can get a bit more loosened up. So it's not terrible. It's just whenever it's wet, and hopefully I won't have to work it whenever it's wet that often. I've never done something like this, so I hope it's not boring. I know I just like watching videos on people transplanting their plants, so I want to make one myself. And I may be doing something wrong. In no way am I trying to say that I'm an expert at this or that I'm really good at this. I literally just started planting summer of 2019, so not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago. But I started out a lot more difficult than a lot of people would have. I was trying to grow watermelons, pumpkins, things like that. So this is actually a step back for me. But I still have no idea what I'm doing here, because I haven't tried to grow greens before, I haven't tried to grow collards before. So this is very new territory for me. Now, there's a few things that I have grown before. And by the way, I think instead of doing 2 more back there, because I do want to spread those out a bit, I'm going to just do 2 more here, if you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more here, because we do plan on putting a trellis in this row back here. We're going to put an arch trellis here, so I can plant cucumbers here. But I'm not going to be planting cucumbers for a bit, just because they haven't been doing well, so I'm going to wait a bit longer to grow cucumbers, and then have those go up the trellis. So I'm just going to work this soil right now, and we're going to plant these collards here now, and maybe they'll be done by the time I actually get cucumbers in the ground. So I'm going to start them inside, and then whenever I bring them outside, I'm going to transplant the cucumbers up here, and then if the collards are done, then we can just take them out. Moving my makeshift tripod. Okay. So, there's a lot of clay right here. Luckily, the top part of the soil is loose, so it's not going to cause problems for the roots. The roots are going to be able to develop. There's a bit down here. They're not terrible, but hopefully we can get some of these to go into the soil. Also, I'm planting most of these because I know they're cold weather crops. Now, I don't know if the reason why these collards are doing like this is because it's not so cold right now. It's actually kind of warm in Houston. It was cold last night. It was very cold last night. And I know that they're doing really well last night. They were they're actually sticking right up. So hopefully, after I water them, they'll perk up. And tomorrow we can see an improvement. I might do a show of this tomorrow. Actually, I might upload tomorrow. I don't know. But I might upload like an update of how everything's doing the next day. Because what I have noticed in plants is they're very resilient. And one day they could be suffering. And if you take care of it in that one day, the next day come out, they'll be just fine. And they'll show that. So I'm thinking my last color.
There we go. So that's our college. Now, hopefully I haven't run out of space on my phone because I am trying to shoot in 4K video. And I know that it takes up a lot of storage. And I don't think I have that much storage. So hopefully I'm getting all this recorded. But I'm going to jump over here. And I'm probably going to move the camera just so you can see better. Okay. So I was able to record a bit more. And hopefully I can get all these done by the time I need to.
So I'm going to just try and pop these out. These are a bit more resilient. These should be a lot more easy to put in. I was just scared about putting them in collards because the collards are already loose and floppy. These are the cabbages. The cabbages should be better because I know cabbages are more durable, especially plants. The plants are a lot more durable. But these are proving rough to get out. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't drop these. Okay, so I think I've got most of these out. Yep, I've got them out. Okay, great. So I got them out. And these I'm going to have to definitely give them a lot more space than what I gave the collards. So these I'm going to probably do maybe 2 in every row and do 3 rows. Okay, that has to be deeper. Here we go. Mind you guys, I know that I'm not looking the best right now. I spent most of my time inside planning what season I'm going to go for next, well, not next season, because next year. So I'm planning what I'm going to be planting for this year. I already have some of them chosen. Like I have the seed varieties that I want to do chosen. Actually, no, I don't think I'll be able to get away with about 3 of them. Maybe doing 2 or 3, and these are just going to have to go farther back. But I'm going to be growing a lot of different varieties this year because mainly for like tomatoes and things like that, I've grown traditional varieties. Not heirloom per se, but just varieties that were harder to kill. Like, I'm going to plant this here. There's so many carrots over there, so let's just hope that doesn't interfere with the carrots. And we've already had rats back here, so hopefully the rats don't like this carrot. But I've been planting some easier to grow crops. Like the tomatoes I have, they're not really hard to grow. I've left them outside before, and my aunt came back and had fully ripe tomatoes whenever I came back, and I haven't watered them. But that's because I'm using this grass as a mulch, and I don't know whether it was just whenever I was using it, but it's kept the ground warm while I was gone. It's kept the soil moisturized, so I'll probably be using that a lot in the future. Just the method. Oh, this plant isn't looking very good. It's very shrimpy. Should probably trade it out for another plant, but hey. So this has been a lot of my last 8 months. For the past 8 months I've been gardening. Wait, no, summer. So summer was about 3 months long. I started at the beginning of summer. Actually, no, I started right before summer ended. So it's been about actually like 10 months, almost going on a year that I've been gardening. So I've been doing sort of well. I think I'm gonna plant something here because we have this space. So I might plant a Brussels sprout here. Yeah, I might plant a Brussels sprout here, and then do like the 4 corners and then a 5th one in the middle for the Brussels sprouts. Just because I have the room. But I'm not gonna plant that yet. I'm gonna wait until I have the room to plant it. And I'm not trying to bend over that much just because this straw is stabbing the heck out of my legs. So it does it. I'm being lazy. I am being lazy. I have no problem saying that. When I'm out in the garden, I'm not lazy in the fact of neglecting my plants, but I will try and do the least amount of effort as I can without harming my plants. Because that is one thing that I hate. Whenever I had a garden back in my grandma's house, if somebody messed with my plants, I would go crazy. Because these have sort of been a way recently for me to cope with a lot of things. So I found a healthy way to use my stress and my anxiety, or filter it at least. And I've had a lot of things to stress about recently. I had a lot of problems at school, a lot of problems with work. So I've been using gardening to fix that. I've been sort of trying to help myself a lot more. I'm going to plant this last cauliflower. Those are a bit close together, but hopefully the heads don't form that big. I do plan on using the outer part of the cabbage leaves. So as they grow, I'm going to take some of the outer part of the cabbage leaves. And actually I could probably do, see if I have that dirt on me. I could probably do a cabbage, a Brussels sprout there and a Brussels sprout there. So that's probably what we're going to do. And then I'm going to interlace the broccoli and the Brussels sprout. It's very visible. You can see the difference between broccoli and Brussels sprout. The Brussels sprout is more flat and looks like a bok choy, while the broccoli is more curled and it looks more like a tail, like a tree tail. Okay, great. So I have the whole sort of dug. Gardening, it's really fun. Especially whenever I was looking for the plants, it was really fun. It's a lot of work when you get out here. Like whenever we tilled this dirt back here, the soil was really compact. It was really compact and clay-like. So we had to do a lot of working outside to hear the chickens. There are a lot of chickens here, but the ground was really compact and clay-like. So we had to add a lot of soil to make this workable. These aren't wanting to come out. Okay, oh, got them out. Hopefully the video is still recording. I don't want the video to stop recording. If it does, I'm just going to come back with an update on what's going on. Actually, after I plant these, I'll check on it just to make sure it's still recording. Oh, yeah, another one. So these are really pretty. I really like these. These are the Brussels sprouts. And I'll probably do the broccolis like I did this and just plant these between the broccoli. Just so I think that'll save the most space. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'll come up here and put these on my straw. I have been doing a lot of experimenting with my gardening, with my garlic. I had to move them at one point in time, so I was scared that I was going to mess up the roots. But I found that it's easier if you go under them and around the roots, around where you think the roots would be, and lift them up because then it'll lift up all the roots along with it. So that's the way that I found to get around that. We're going to things back here. I didn't water this far, so hopefully, actually I might just have to go get more water and water farther back, because it looks like we're in more room. Ooh, I found a root. Okay, not done yet. Okay, now I'm gonna check to make sure it's still recording. Okay, still recording. So, I'm definitely not gonna have enough room to get them back there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna plant this broccoli. I'm gonna plant this broccoli here, and I'm gonna set aside these Brussels sprouts so I can water it after the video, and then plant those Brussels sprouts. But the broccoli, we're gonna do the same thing we were doing with the cabbage, and I'm just gonna interlace them with the Brussels sprouts. Mind you guys, I haven't been gardening that long, and this is my first time ever growing carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, all of that. Literally the only thing I've grown is lettuce, tomatoes, and that's it. I've never grown mustards, anything like that. I'm just growing potatoes for the first time, so a lot of this is the first time for me. I don't even know how some of this is supposed to look. Sometimes I watch videos on the plants that I want to grow before I grow it, just so I know what it's supposed to look like whenever I'm growing it, how I'm supposed to grow it, things that, problems that I might run into, just so I can get ahead of it before it happens, or I can see what's happening if something happens. Ooh, okay. So, some of these are already starting to get the broccoli heads. I'm going to plant these down a bit deeper, because the roots are a bit curved. Now this, I don't think we've worked with the soil for back here, so I'm making a video. But yeah, so I'm just going to bury these a bit deeper than what we have them. And as I said, I didn't go back that far with the water. Actually, I think I can still work it. So, we're just going to plant these broccolis, and then I'll water them afterwards with the fertilized water, so hopefully they don't do bad. I don't think they will. I was just wanting to water them as a precaution, so if they were doing bad, but they should be fine. By the way, my mom just came out here to check up on me and what I was doing with plants. And she was surprised. So, I think I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to just continue going back and water as we come to that point. I'm just going to pick up some of this so I can add it to the front. And we just have one more to go here. Now we did come into a lot of problems when we were trying to till back here, because a lot of the soil, first we realized how clay-like it was, and also we realized there was a lot of roots back here, so that was going to put some problems. I'm going to take these just to the other side so I can plant them there. But yeah, there's a lot of roots back here. Ooh! I fell. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of big roots back here that we had to get rid of. While we were tilling back here, we had actually got a lot of roots stuck in the tiller, because we use an electric tiller, and we had to clean that out, and it was terrible. Oh, I had a big root back here. We have wild onions growing back here, so there's a lot of roots for wild onions. Also, in the spring we're planning on getting chickens, so hopefully that'll make the tilling process a lot easier, because we need chickens to till the ground for me. Or not till the ground, but till, like, sort of like top till it, and fertilize the ground, before we even get to it. So, the soil is prepped for us before we get there. This is the last broccoli. We have the plants. And now with that broccoli is through.
I'm just gonna turn off the video. I'm gonna go water back some more and plant those last two Brussels sprouts, and we should be good. After I plant those, and I'm gonna show you guys an update of what it looks like. I'm gonna plant the carrots off camera too, just because that's gonna take a bit. I have to water that a bit more so it's a lot looser. Okay guys, so the sun has gone down a lot, but as always, I forgot again that I'm supposed to be planting these onions. My hands are crusty, they're dirty. I was trying to show you my other hand, but I'm holding the camera. So I need to plant these. I forgot I was going to plant these. These I have honestly not much experience growing. I don't know how I'm gonna grow them. I don't know how much room they need. I'm going to estimate. I did wet the soil. I'm gonna show you guys before I even start planting these how they look, just in case I mess up on the onions. But if anybody is watching that knows how to plant onions, it may not be late for me to still move them. So please give me insight on how to plant these. It would be very much helpful. Ooh, almost chopped it. But yeah, so I need help planting the onions. I've watered everything in. The collards are actually starting to perk up really quickly. Ever since I planted them in the ground, I told you, plants are resilient. They will perk up if you give them the right conditions. So that has been given the right conditions. It's starting to perk up. One of them is looking really sad, but hopefully tomorrow morning I'm gonna come out here and it's gonna be fine. I did water my other bed because I haven't watered them in a while. It's been raining a bit, so I was thinking that is gonna keep them wet, but I checked the soil. The soil was a bit dry, so I just gave them a little bit of water, and I moisturized that bed because I fertilized that bed because I haven't fertilized that bed in a while. I did water this with fertilizer already. I used the Miracle Grow fertilizer, and I also had some Epsom salts. I used Epsom salts that were meant for plants, and I gave them a little bit of Epsom salt and then watered it in with the Miracle Grow fertilizer. Now that's been working very well for me on my other plants. It was working very well up until the fall whenever things started to get cold, but everything's starting to look really pretty. Everything's all dewy. It looks really nice, and I'm actually really excited because this is what I wanted my garden to look like, and it hasn't. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting to get plants like this, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. So I'm gonna turn the camera on and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. This may not look like much. This may not at all look like much. But as you can see, the collards are already starting to poke up. That one right there is the one that I was saying that looked really sad. That was still down. I did get everything else planted in though. The onions are over there. I'm just gonna prep the soil right here. We're gonna plant them back here. This is the end of my bed, as you guys can see. This is the end of my bed. So I'm planning on planting some of them here. This is only some of them. I just need to work this soil a bit because back here we weren't able to put much soil. So this is more of that clay stuff. So I'm gonna work some of the soil from that other bed over here, and hopefully that's gonna fluff it up a bit so we can have the onions grow nice and big. But yeah, and I'm only gonna be able to plant a few of those because as you can see, there's a whole bunch of onions there. So what I'm also probably gonna do with that bed is I've only got to there with soil. So I'm gonna probably bring it up to like there and then plant that with onions. Because right now we have no use of this bed because we don't have enough soil. So I'm gonna bring it about up to there with the soil that we do have here. And then whenever we get the rest of the soil, I'm just gonna bring it back there and we're gonna fill it in. This middle part is a walkway. We're gonna fill that up with hay like here. And it's gonna get compact like that. And we're just gonna keep adding hay on top of it so we can have it. And eventually this is gonna turn into compost. Well, not compost, but it's gonna be dirt. And we're gonna use this as a bed eventually. Right now, the only reason I didn't is because there's a big root under here and I didn't wanna risk messing up the tiller. But yeah, so I'm going to work this and then show you guys the end of it. As you can see, that there's a lot less daylight. So I'm gonna try and hurry up and get this done. And I'll check back in with you guys. Hey, Mama.
You better not be going poo-poo.
Okay. So, final flip through the garden. Onions. Why you look like that? It's because I got dirt on my phone.
Looking like, what are you doing?
But yeah, I got onions here. The carrots. Planted the carrots. Everything is planted. I planted the onions around the bed to keep any pests or things that are going to try and eat the plants away. I wasn't able to plant them here because I didn't have room here. I planted the broccoli a bit close to the edge, so this probably isn't going to be enough room. Hopefully, my problem is I hope that these cabbages don't block out the sun from the carrots. But other than that, everything seems to be fine. These have perked up a lot more. These are getting a lot better, so by the time we come out tomorrow, more than likely they'll be all the way perked up. We should be fine. I still haven't watered in my onions. I am probably going to do that after this video. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a final flip through of everything we have here. I need to clean up now because I had to move everything out of the way to get this done. But yeah, so it's the end of the video. That's Bella right there. So that was the end of the video. As you can see, the sun is going down. And we're calling it quits for tonight. I have gotten everything done that I wanted to get done. I didn't show you guys my little potato things because there's nothing growing in them yet. But I have 2 of these little planters with potatoes in them. That's all that I haven't showed you. The rest of it's really simple. I just need to get a little bit of this cleaned up before I actually go inside and take a shower now because I'm covered in dirt and mud. The onions proved a bit more challenging because there was a lot of mud because we didn't fully mix in the soil well, I guess. So there was some mud around. But I made sure that I didn't plant the onions where there was the mud type of dirt because I know it gets hard and I don't want them to stop growing because of that. We do still have a few spaces in between some of the plants where we can grow other things that are small, like beets, which I might grow because I see a lot of empty holes where I could put other plants. And I do want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my space. Now on the primary bed, I'm not sure. I think I might be ripping out my tomato plant next week because it's only getting worse. It's not getting better. And it's not going to get any warmer here. This is as warm as it's going to get. And it's not going to be putting on any new flowers anytime soon. But yeah, so this is the end of the video. I hope you guys really did enjoy my gardening. I'll be back with another video explaining everything that happened, why I've been gone for so long, what I've been doing on my spare time now, and how my life is now. And the dog's peeing. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, so it's the next morning, and I decided that before I end the video, I'm just going to show you guys a day after update. Just as I thought, it's very cold. The warmth did not last long. It got really cold last night, and it's really cold this morning, and I'm still wearing a t-shirt, and I'm coming out here in shorts. So I'm pretty sure some things are a little frosty. My peppers, cilantro, these don't do good in the cold. My tomato plants, not at all. My squashes, not at all. The onions don't look terrible. The carrots, they've seen better. But as you can see, all of the collards, well, most of the collards have picked up. It was just, they needed a little bit of time to adjust, I guess. And all the cabbages, all the Brussels sprouts, broccoli, they're doing good. One of the leaves fell off. On that one. So right now we're just going through natural selection, I guess. They're just getting rid of the leaves that aren't giving them that much. Everything else is doing fine, I guess. Hey, it's really cold. I'm going to go inside now. I'll talk to you guys later. This is my final update until next month.